extraordinary place deserves an extraordinary way to see it. Our newest route, Rockies to the Red Rocks, brings 30 years of Rocky Mountaineer's world-class service to the stunning desert vistas of the American Southwest. Traveling from the vibrant Denver, Colorado, past some of nature's wonders, vast canyons, chromatic deserts, and panoramic views, to the mesmerizing red rock landscapes that twist through the bright blue sky. It's rail travel at its best. After all, if you're going to see an extraordinary place, you want an extraordinary way to see it.
Welcome to Tuesday Travel Chat. I'm one of your hosts, Julia from Go Travel.
And I'm Bob from Go Travel as well.
And today we have Paul Corrigan from Rocky Mountaineer, and he's going to be telling us all about their brand new train route, the Red Rocks to the, what is it called, Paul? The Rockies to the Red Rocks. So stay tuned. We're going to get to it. But first, Bob, let's get to the news.
Certainly.
What do we have going on, Bob?
Have some interesting news items, so let's get right to them.
Hit it. Take it away.
CDC has eased testing requirements for fully vaccinated passengers. Literally, the CDC has been changing their rules for travelers, for cruisers. Over the last week, I think they changed them 3 times. But in essence, it's going to put less of a headache on getting onto a ship if you're fully vaccinated, and even if you're not vaccinated. So contact your Go Travel advisor. We'll be having details. We expect some new news coming out tomorrow and Thursday, but good news on the horizon for cruisers.
And Bob, I'll say it was interesting over these past couple of weeks to watch as the CD would release new updates, and based on the reaction of so many people, they would immediately, sometimes within the very same day, make changes because they saw how bad of a reaction that they received and how that it was possible to make changes.
Yes,
very cool.
Evolution of the rules and changes have been phenomenal. I've not seen the government move so fast, except when they take my tax money.
Okay, next, news with Alaska.
In conjunction with everything, the 2 senators and congressmen from Alaska passed a bill which would remove the Jones Act on 51 cruise ships, allowing them to sail from Seattle or San Francisco or Los Angeles to Alaska ports. Essentially, right now, a foreign flagship has to sail to a foreign flagship must go to another foreign flag port before you come into the United States. That's why I can't go on a cruise from New York to Fort Lauderdale. You have to go to the Bahamas. The the Jones Act is being temporarily revised to allow ships not to have to call it a foreign port. It's only for this season and possibly next, but it's only a temporary act, and it's good news indeed. Cruise lines have not reacted yet because they haven't been given permission by the CDC to travel, but hopefully Alaska travel will be able to do it in July, August, and part of September. Thank goodness.
Let's hope. I mean, we've been doing a lot of research about the Jones Act and just kind of looking into the history, and it's really interesting why they created it. It's really there for times of war so that your own country has a fleet that is owned by the U.S. in case we were to need them, instead of outsourcing, and then in a time of war we wouldn't have that fleet available. So I think this temporary lifting of the Jones Act is a great idea just for this temporary moment. And
the Jones Act also was designed to protect the merchant marine. So that's to prevent someone coming in and taking cargo from Seattle to Los Angeles, for example. It's designed to protect the U.S. maritime system.
Well, let's take a look at Europe with some news in Europe, Bob.
Benvenuto in Italia. Welcome to Italy. Italy is open. It opened May 16th. If you can prove you're vaccinated, obviously there's no quarantine. We were talking about this earlier today on our internal team chat, and it's a great thing. If you want to visit Italy and don't want to have to deal with truck crowds, go to Italy now. Venice, you're seeing the bottom of the canals. The Grand Canal is clear to the bottom. There's octopus and all sorts of fish and birds coming back. If you want to go now, as long as you're vaccinated. And Italy welcomes you with open arms.
They just opened Sunday, past
just
Sunday.
Just
ready
Sunday.
to roll.
Exactly. So, benvenuto in Italia. Welcome to Italy.
Okay, and more in cruise news.
Well, lots of things are happening. The Mardi Gras of Carnival Cruise Lines is on its way to Port Canaveral at this moment. It arrives June the 4th. One of our Go Travel advisors has actually been invited to the welcoming ceremonies for it. And in recent news, actually of the last 3 days, I believe, Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas, which was scheduled to sail out of Haifa, Israel, due to the conflict between the Israelis and Palestinians, Royal Caribbean is bringing the ship back to the United States. It is currently steaming through the Mediterranean on its way to Gibraltar, and then it's going to make a left and head all the way down to Port Canaveral. Not sure if it's going to sail from Port Canaveral, but we know it's going to be based here for a couple of weeks, maybe for vaccinations and for taking on supplies, etc. So we'll keep you informed, but 2 new ships coming to Port Canaveral.
This is interesting news for Central Floridians.
Yes.
By the way, this is a brand new ship. It was going to debut with that Israel season, but
yes.
This will give Floridians a chance to see her.
Yes. Well, the Odyssey was supposed to be here last November, a year ago in November. So anyway, passports. This is just a public service announcement. If your passport is expiring this year, renew it now. Passports are taking 12 to 16 weeks now to be renewed or for new applications. Even if you want to pay to expedite it, 2 weeks for expediting. It used to be 24 hours. So open your passports, look at the expiration date. If it expires anytime between now and December 1st, December 1st is good, renew your passport. Do it now. Do it before the real blitz hits.
You heard it here first from Bob. And when Bob says it, you know it's important. So check those passports. Okay. Well, I think it is time to bring on our special guest, Paul Corrigan. Hi, Paul.
Hey, how are you?
I love the hat today.
I'm glad you wore your hat in honor of our new U.S. route. So thank you. I appreciate that. Bob, I'm sorry I didn't give you the heads up.
That's all right. I got enough to cover my head.
Well, Bob, I think you have some key questions because it's been a while since we've chatted with Paul live. And by the way, we are live. So if you do have any questions, just type them in the comments. We would love to be able to answer them live during our stream today. But in the meantime, Bob, I know that you had some questions for Paul to get us started today.
Certainly. Paul, I know that we'll just get some things out of the way. Let's talk about what some of the restrictions are for vaccinated passengers for your new product here in the United States.
Yes. For right now, for the U.S., we have not rolled out our protocols for on board the train. You know, if we're going to follow the guidelines of the local Colorado and Utah, it's a good thing our operations people were smart. They didn't want to put something out when they knew everything was evolving. And by the way, today we're 89 days away from the first departure on our first inaugural departure in the U.S. So 89 days away. So we're very excited, but we should have more information very shortly. As you know, just even this last week with the change in the mask mandates and everything else that's been issued by the CDC, we'll be updating our protocols. Now in Canada, we do have a whole health and safety guidelines laid out, and hopefully we'll be testing that before we launch in the U.S.
And Paul, I know today is basically discussing the red. You'll say it because I get so tongue tied with what we're going to talk about, the red route to the Rockies. But how are bookings looking for the U.S. departures as well as Canada for 2023?
Yeah. So I'll touch on Canada first. So Canada for 2021, as you know, the border's still not open. Although I'm hearing, like, with the, you know how it is, peer pressure with Europe opening up for vaccinated travelers, I'm feeling that Canada is going to be turning the corner very quick. They've actually, but way behind on the vaccinated front. And so they weren't in any position to let Americans in, even though we're way ahead of the curve. But now they're picking up steam. And, I think they expect like 60-70% of their people to be vaccinated by the end of June, which is really good. And so there's lots of rumblings and rumors about the border opening sooner than later. Although, if not, our owner wants to operate starting in July. It may just be Canadians for the first month, but I feel like it's going to turn quick, and then it still could open up in time for July. In the U.S., bookings have been great for 2021. We don't have our 2022 season out yet, but a lot of last minute bookings. And I think, and you probably saw this in your agency, is that up until probably April, it was slow. And then as the vaccines really got rolled out and people felt sort of this huge sense of relief that they're vaccinated, they feel safe, they're ready to travel, our phones are ringing off the hook. And so the U.S. route is, a lot of people are still looking domestically. And you'll notice this if you don't book a package through, like you guys on Rocky Mountaineer, if you were just searching for a hotel or a car rental, you can't get it going to the national parks, or the prices are exorbitant, right? So that's one advantage, that you'll see when you book with us, is you're going to have great hotels and all that stuff. Canada for 2022, just to switch over to that, while a lot of sales are not coming in for 21 for Canada, when the border opens, I think floodgates are going to open. But for 2022, we're up 5 times higher than the same time in 2019 for advanced sales, brand new bookings. So everything's looking great. 2022 is going to be crazy. It's going to probably be our best year ever, and knock on wood. And the U.S. route is really exciting with our first inaugural in August.
So the best thing just for that, for Canada, book now for 2022, or you're not going.
Absolutely. Because as you know, Bob, and it's a great point, is that in 2020, we didn't operate. Right. April through June, we weren't able to operate, again with the border closed, government restrictions. So all those clients that were supposed to travel with us, hundreds of thousands, are now moving to 2022. So space is going to get gobbled up fast. And we're just one company out of many that are sending people to Canada. So definitely highly recommend it.
But now let's talk about 2021, what we can do here in the United States on this gorgeous new program from Rocky Mountaineer. Paul, take it away.
Yeah. Well, this is really a perfect, itinerary for us. And Rocky Mountaineer takes a long time in research. We've been around for 30 years. And, we've had this desire to do a U.S. route probably for 10 years. And we probably even consulted with Julia, you and your mom and Bob, over the years, like where would be a good place to go and that kind of thing. And we've done our research, but lo and behold, we came up with this beautiful route. And you'll see as we go through, the destination. I've just got some highlight slides of what you'll see along the route. But for those who don't know, and if you'll see, we'll talk a little bit about the train experience itself. So we'll be bringing down our Silverleaf rail. And if you, I don't know if you're able to change.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to go ahead. But first, I'm going to do a shameless plug here, Paul.
Of course.
For those of you who haven't seen it yet, we did do a video on our YouTube channel, our other YouTube channel, called A Cup of Joe with Go. So if you'd like a little grab a coffee or a mimosa and join us for a short video where you can see the full video after you get done here today. So,
Well, I will.
okay, now we can go, Paul.
Yes, and to those who haven't seen it, you've got to see. It's hilarious. And our founder, Peter Armstrong, we're a privately owned company. Loved that video. He's watched it. Most of the executives in our company have watched it, love it, and just we're thrilled by what you've put together. But as far as like Rocky Mountaineer, we are a train operator, privately owned, privately operated, and it's the experience, nostalgic train. But our trains are something else, and you'll see over the next few slides. I'll show you. But when you travel on board Rocky Mountaineer, whether in Canada or the U.S., we're all about the beautiful scenic journeys that clients will travel through the countryside, and it's a 5-star service on board, all inclusive. Your meals, your alcohol, wines, beers, cocktails throughout the journey. And with the U.S. route, we have 2 service levels normally, but we're bringing down our Silverleaf rail cars. So it's our actual rail cars from Canada coming down. They're dome cars, as you can see pictured here, and they're beautifully designed by Rocky Mountaineer. Everything's custom designed, and you'll see just the big picture windows. When you look inside the cabin, you can see the high ceilings. You've got big picture windows. So regardless of what side of the train you're seated on, you can see the beautiful passing scenery on both sides. Of course, dining is going to be seat side, very elegantly presented. And one of the things that I'm excited about is we use locally sourced, locally inspired dishes. Well, for the West, we're going to have a Southwestern cuisine that we're going to share and serve up for the guests. So on Silverleaf, your clients will get meals included, typically breakfast and lunch, all your alcohols included for refreshments, and all sorts of good snacks. Everybody will leave the train full and ready to go. So yeah, the next slide does show you the map. And so the route is going to go between Denver and Moab, Utah, with an overnight in Glenwood Springs. So it's 2 full days on the train. And the train boat goes both directions. So you'll see that as I go through the presentation, that we kind of like alternate back and forth, east to west.
And Paul, this is kind of the base of a trip. You don't probably expect most people to just go those 2 days. I mean, some people might, but this is the base of your Western trip. Am I right?
That is correct. We have 18 different packages that we build around the train route, as well as some group itineraries. But we'll have people book a 2-day rail, or they just want to do that, or a 4-day trip, or they may want to do one of our packages that are 8-9 days program. And I'm going to show you a few of those as we get through the presentation. But yeah, lots of options, as well as self-drive programs too. One of the main features of this itinerary is Denver, Colorado. And of all the cities I've been to in the US, I've never really been to Denver. I connected through Denver. I've never been to Denver, but it is a phenomenal city. And the more I learn about the city, the more I love it. Of course, we all know it's the Mile High City. It's urban adventure. It's very known for that. But you'll also see it through these slides some of the other unique things about Denver, Colorado, which enthrall me and make me want to go there and spend a lot more time. So they have this in the downtown area. They're known to have one of the most walkable cities in the U.S. It's the 19th largest city, but it's the 4th most walkable city. And if you're like me and a lot of travelers, they love to go into downtown areas and then explore, right? In this area, it's 16th Street, pedestrian way. You can walk up and down, a lot of great shops. They have free transportation in the downtown area, a bunch of free tours that are included. So guests will love Denver. They have this art museum here, has over 70,000 pieces, and including Native American all the way up to contemporary art. So this is a must-visit place. So if you go to Denver, spend a few extra nights. And that's what we do encourage people to explore the region. They have the second largest.
That reminds me of the Titanic Museum. That shape.
Yes, and
I know what you're talking. That's in Belfast, right?
There is a Titanic connection to Colorado. Molly Brown's home is a museum in Denver. The unsinkable Molly Brown.
Excellent. Yes. Great one. One thing that you'll know Denver is known for is beer. They're considered the Napa Valley of beer. So if you're of craft beer, so if you're into craft beer, they had a beer trail. You can do. There's over 200 different craft beers brewed right there in Denver. So you can, eat and drink to your heart's merry. But here's something that I love. I learned about this. This Rockmount Ranchware has been around for 70 years. Super famous. They invented the snap buttons. Do you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
The snap, buttons on their ranchware. Well, not only are they famous in Colorado, but they're famous around the world. And actually, you'll see, Julia, as you go through some famous people that have Rockmount Ranchwear. Sir Paul McCartney, Cary Grant, Ronald Reagan, they all donned those beautiful things. Kevin Costner. Now you might recognize this guy. Anybody want to guess who that is?
Paul
You're
Newman.
too young, Julia. You probably don't know. Well, Bob knew.
Paul Newman.
Yep. And this next person.
James Dean.
No.
I can't see. It's small.
It's too small. Okay. Well, that is Tom Brady. Well, I'm a Patriots fan. So.
Oh, you look like James Dean.
And then the most famous in the original.
Thank you very much. Elvis tribute.
Elvis. Actually, Elvis wore the Rockmount shirt in one of his movies that he filmed, and that's where they took off. So it's a must visit. Rockmount Ranchwear. Get your hats, get your ranch wear, and they're beautiful. Every famous celebrity rock star owns these shirts. So little claim.
We got our fashion update. I never knew about.
Yep, there you go. And something near Denver, this is a must, is the Red Rock Amphitheater. I remember seeing concert, like a YouTube concert on TV. I didn't go there, but this is a actual natural amphitheater. Wonderful place. Concerts galore. They show films there, but you'll see actually some of the stats, Julia, with I have in here. So built in 1941, holds over 9,500 people, elevation 6,400 feet, and so it's a national landmark now. So, and they have, I think they have concerts probably 4 or 5 days a week. So if you're going to Denver, hey, add in a show and go to amphitheater. It's 25 miles outside of town.
Yeah,
this is also,
yes, the acoustics are spectacular there. They're almost like the library, the amphitheater in in Ishmael, near Ishmael, Kusadasi.
Ah, yes. And then, of course, this national park you may be familiar with sounds a lot like Rocky Mountaineer. It's third most visited in the U.S. It's the Rocky Mountain National Park. Mm-hmm. And then also, the next slide shows you the beautiful train station. So one thing about Denver, when you fly into Denver or out of Denver, they have a light rail that goes right from the airport to this train station. And our trains will most likely leave from here. We also use the hotel that's in this train station, totally refurbished, gorgeous property. And then we leave our train and off to the next destination. So you're going to spend some time in Denver, then we head to Glenwood Springs. Now, in between, lots of great, and I didn't point this out, but Bob, you had asked about the Silverleaf, well, maybe you did, but we talked about Silverleaf Rail and why we're bringing there, not the Gold Leaf Rail. Well, the Gold Leaf Rail are double deckers, and on the route between Denver and Glenwood Springs, there's over 30 tunnels. So, and those tunnels are not built high enough for the Gold Leaf Rail, but Silverleaf Rail, everybody will absolutely love it. Glenwood Springs, it's called the Land of Water, although you can't tell it from there, but there's actually two rivers that converge, the Colorado and I forget the other one, but two rivers there, and you'll see in the next slide what Glenwood Springs is famous for. First of all, it's a year-round resort. Health seekers tend to go there, and it started in late 1800s. A lot of health seekers went there for the spas, but also, you mentioned Molly Brown. Molly Brown visited this place frequently. Al Capone visited frequently. Teddy Roosevelt as well, President Taft. And then you'll notice the name of that tavern there is the Doc Holliday Tavern. You know who Doc Holliday is, right?
Yes. Gunfight at OK Corral.
Yes, and if you want, you can do a scare tour. What do they call those? Scary tours at
Ghost
night.
tour.
Ghost tour, yes, and go see his grave. But great dining in there. And then the next slide, you'll see one of the reason why health seekers went here is mineral springs, hot springs, mineral pools. They have these two right here. These are two pools right next to each other. They are the largest in the world. 16 mineral springs. The temperature is 94 and 103 degrees. So for anybody that people come here and they go for this healthy water that they swim in. So our guests will arrive at 5. They can choose to go to the pools or go to dinner and vice versa, but they're open till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So either way, go to dinner or go to dinner after you hit the pools, but go. And my story has it that after an hour in these 16 mineral springs pools, people come out 10 years younger. That is true. Well, that's a true myth.
Sign us up. Sign us up.
They also have these vapor caves that where people go into these basically natural steam rooms. And then from Glenwood Springs, so we're there one night, we head on to Moab. We'll pass the LaSalle Mountains there, and then we'll also pass this mountain range. It's the Book Cliffs, but this mountain here is. Anybody you want to guess on what the name of this mountain is? You probably can't guess this one, but
is this the Book Cliffs?
That's the Book Cliffs, and it's called Mount Garfield. And if you click the thing, you'll see the little animation I added.
I hit something. Everybody.
Oh boy.
Okay, you keep talking.
Okay. So anyway, it was named after President Garfield. You know what President Garfield is famous for? It's not something.
He was elected twice.
And
he wasn't executive consecutively as president.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I do know that one of his terms was the shortest in history. He was assassinated. He only lived 6 months. Very sad. In the 1800s, 20th U.S. president. So that's a little bit.
I need for my Jeopardy.
From New Jersey.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And then we arrive in Moab, which I think you should see next. And so Moab is actually one thing that about Moab you probably don't know. It's the mountain bike capital of the world. So a lot of adventurers come here from all over the world. They ride mountain bikes all throughout those mountains. But it also is known for, guess what? Filming. And you'll see some of these images and you'll think, oh gosh, I think I've seen that before in a film. It's the film commission. And also Moab is and so we will stop, the train stops in Moab, but that is the gateway to the Mighty Five. And so I'm going to show you these Mighty Five, this one here. Anybody want to guess what that is? Can you guess? There we go. Canyonlands.
Too quick on the trigger here.
All right. Canyonlands is right outside of Moab, and it's one of the national parks in the Mighty Five. Of course, 2 rivers. I mean, it kind of looks like the Grand Canyon. Absolutely stunning. The next one, you can just probably guess by the picture there.
Arches
National Park. There's over 2,000 sandstone arches. That is right there next to Moab. A must visit. Over 1 million visitors a year go there. And the next one here, this one I think is really cool. Looks very space type of thing. Capitol Reef National Park. Most people have never even heard of it, but it's absolutely stunning. And then also you'll notice a little fun fact. There's a trail called the Robbers Roost Trail, famous hideout spot for bandits. And you'll click the next thing and you'll see a couple of bandits. Anybody want to guess who these bandits are?
Is that Butch Cassidy?
Yes, absolutely. And Sundance Kid.
Kid.
They're actually the real bandits. So if you're into gunfighting, cowboy hats, all that stuff, you get that all in this area. And then this is Bryce Canyon National Park. And, as you can see, though, the hoodoos there, they're known for their hoodoos, which they have more hoodoos than trees. But also, if you'll notice, it's a dark sky preserve. So what does that mean? One of the best places on Earth to see stargazing. And they also have an annual festival they do every year, which you'll see is in June of this year, which, well, our trains won't be there. But next June, our train will be there. So be sure to join us and go on this again. And then
Paul, you just said something important. You added the U.S. as a permanent destination,
Yes.
not just as
correct.
something as a replacement for a year or so.
Absolutely. Well, this is permanent, and I actually see, Bob, down the road that this would expand to other U.S. routes.
Yes.
I mean, we've got so many amazing places in the U.S. to visit, and we're just thrilled with. We have a relationship with Union Pacific. They're the locomotives that will be pulling us, but now we have access to their tracks.
And you guys have had demand for this for years, as I understand. I mean, people.
Yes. Absolutely. And when we launched this, we originally were going to spend like $20 million launching it, and then COVID hit, right? So it's all word of mouth. Half of the people that are booked on it right now were former Rocky Mountaineer guests that couldn't wait to get on. And we never did, no special offers, no nothing. We were just, it's been a tough year, as you know, and then we just put it out there, and our past guests jumped on the chance to go. So we're about 50% sold out. We'll end up selling this route out. Now, this beautiful national park is also one of the Mighty Five. And you'll see it is the 5th most visited national park in the U.S., 4.2 million visitors per year. And that's Zion National Park. And it's only, you see, 2.5 hours drive to Las Vegas. So one of the great things about this route that we have is you can go on this train route, end in Vegas, try to win your money back, or you could start in Vegas and get some spending money for your trip. And then here's a map. This map kind of shows you like those national parks I just pointed out. So I think it's kind of a good little visual to see what you can see in southern Utah. And then I want to mention this Go Travel exclusive group that we're doing. And this is called our Southwest Wonders by Rail 9 to 8 night trip, departing in October, which is a perfect time to be in Colorado and Utah. And it's going to be phenomenal. And it's starting just under $5,000 per person, double, includes all your hotels, your sightseeing, most of your meals, the train experience. It's going to be quite a beautiful trip. And as I have a few highlights on the next couple slides, this itinerary you can see start in Las Vegas, then it goes to Bryce Canyon, Zion. We're going to do like stargazing in Bryce Canyon. We go to Lake Powell, also the Grand Canyon, Monument Valley. Then you arrive in Moab and then take the train from Moab all the way to Denver. So it'll end in Denver on the 14th.
Paul, the one thing I want to remind everybody is on the train, you are not traveling on the train overnight. You essentially, then you go into Glenwood Springs, and the next day, if you're heading to Denver, you pick up right where you left all of the beautiful attractions and the scenery. You just keep going for it.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Appreciate your point. Yeah, that's exactly right. You stay in a nice hotel, enjoy a night. Maybe you'll sleep in a hotel that Al Capone slept in. You never know.
And it's a seamless type of experience. This is a luxury experience where with the meals and just the service. I think the service is something that it's not booking a ticket on a train that you would normally think.
Or exactly.
It's a full experience.
There's a thing called an NPS rating. All the tour companies and retailers have NPS scores. It's a net promoter score. Our net promoter scores are higher than any travel company in the industry. And like clients go on the Silver Leaf or the Gold Leaf, they come back and rave about their experience on board the train. Everybody loves nostalgia train travel, but when you get pampered, and the people that work on our trains are awesome. We're hiring a whole new staff for the US route, and they're being trained by our Canadian staff. It's very exciting that we're going to be able to really bring the Rocky Mountaineer experience to the US as well. So,
and I think that speaks also to the fact that you have experts on the train. You're learning. It's not just a place to move. You're learning throughout the experience.
That's a great point. And so our hosts are not only serving the drinks and, food as well. they're also entertaining and giving culture and history. They're well versed. They banter with each other very well. They know how to like entertain guests as well as, you know, provide the 5-star service that people expect.
Paul, just one other question. Someone who's maybe have some impaired mobility.
Yes, a great question. How do we accommodate for that?
Yes.
We just there's a form, as long as the client is, you know, at some point can get from their chair to another chair. They're absolutely fine to travel with us. We can even accommodate the wheelchair on board the train. We'll make space for them. We can arrange for the motor coaches that transfer between the train and their hotels. So we're totally designed to be able to handle the mobility assistance needs of clients. And we get quite a few clients that want to do the train, and we can accommodate for that. So it's a great question, Bob.
As long as you know beforehand.
Know in advance,
Don't
yeah.
just show up.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sure Rocky Mountaineer would handle something, but just don't.
Yes. Well,
any advance notice.
This funny little map just kind of shows you the route map of your of this group trip. So again, I can't stress enough, it's a wonderful group trip. We have excellent guides that'll be there throughout the whole experience, giving the history. When you go through a national park with a local guide or a guide with you, it's something else, you know, and the stargazing experience and all the other different things that they'll get to see. And I have a few more highlights, I think, in the next. This kind of just talks about some things. We do some picnic lunches like Canyonlands, overlooking a Dead Horse Point, overlooking Canyonlands. We do like this, as I mentioned, stargazing, boat ride. We have some other dining experiences that are so cool. Clients will enjoy it, and you'll be in the fresh outdoors a lot of the times. And then, okay, so this is Dead Horse Point. This is where we do one of our little picnic lunches at Dead Horse Point overlooking Canyonlands National Park. So that's basically like your view when you're having your lunch at a picnic table. And we bring the lunches for you and everything. It's a very cool experience. This is Arches, another, you know, we do the tours of the parks. We'll take you to the different arches that clients can see. And we take them on this jet boat ride. It's not a super fast jet boat, but it takes them on the Colorado River inside Canyonlands National Park. And look how beautiful that is. Mm-hmm. And then Monument Valley, which is not technically a national park, but it's a Navajo Nations park. But what I love about this is just a treat to see. The guests will go into here. We do a tour led by in Jeeps by a Navajo guide, and they're very informative and funny as well. And they'll give you a tour of the national parks there, as well as learn a little bit about the Navajo Nation culture.
And talk to a bit about the group trip, for example, this 9-day, 8 night. It's a combination of train plus what are the other transportation and.
We start out in Las Vegas. So you go gamble, have a lot of fun. Then from there, the guide, you'll be led by our guide in doing sightseeing tours. So you'll head out to Zion National Park, where we stop. And a lot of times we'll go to a park a couple times. We may go in the morning and then go in the afternoon the next day. We try to give you different lights and different experiences. Mm-hmm. So it'll be guided tour from that point. And it's about 4-5 days of guided tours between
with buses.
Yes, with we'll have motor coaches depending on the size of the group. It'll determine the size of the motor coach and spacing required, but we'll have our own guide. It's a Rocky Mountaineer representative that'll be with the group the whole way, along with the driver.
And I think that's the important thing also. You have that guide, you have these hosts throughout the trip. Yeah. It's not just dropping you off and good luck. Exactly. It's fully guided.
We have those type of programs where you're on your own as a independent traveler, but this is definitely a guided tour led by an expert in that local area. And the company that we contract with has been in the Southwest. This is what they know and do. So they're experts of the Southwest.
Paul, what size are your groups running for these? Number of guests.
Basically 30 is the roughly the group size. So we don't, not too big of groups, but about 30 people we'll put on a coach.
So it's about half the size of a lot of other tour companies.
Yes, yeah, they're very personalized, and here's another picture of Monument Valley, so you'll get to see a demo of like some weaving and that kind of stuff, which is really cool because a lot of we go to other countries and we learn about culture, but we seldom learn about the stuff we have in the U.S. So, and learning from the locals. That's a picture of Lake Powell, which is the largest or second largest. I think it might be the largest water reservoir, man-made reservoir out there, but absolutely stunning. And we take clients on a boat ride on this boat, and you'll actually overnight on this tour 2 nights on Lake Powell. And I've been to Lake Powell, absolutely love it. It is just breathtaking, and the water is so clear, so clean. There's a lot of houseboats. People will go and they do houseboats there, which is a vacation I always wanted to do. I haven't done it yet. And this is, believe it or not, this is near the Lake Powell, and we take people to this Antelope Canyon. Look at the colors. I mean, it's amazing. You'll see, when you see photography photos of national parks, this is one of the most amazing photographed places around, because the way
this is hashtag Instagrammable, Paul, is what
totally. Yeah. And they'll set it up so you get this picture out there. And they do things with like sand. They'll the guide will like take some sand and have you get a photo with the light hitting the sand coming out of their hands. And it's a very cool place. That's Antelope Canyon. Of course, this is the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Most of the people go to the south rim. The north rim is very nice, very calm. We stop and have lunch at the Grand Canyon Lodge on the north rim. I think they're on their own for that, but then they can just relax and digest and sit and enjoy the beautiful views of the Grand Canyon. And as I mentioned, we do a stargazing experience somewhere along the route. And that one we do at Bryce, and then of course Vegas. And we kind of flip-flop the order on these slides, but you get the point. These are some of the highlights. We do use the Mirage Hotel, which what I love about it is kind of historic. That was like the first hotel before they had the big boom in Las Vegas, right? Am I correct? Like the first modern hotel with the volcano and Siegfried and Roy. It's
the first hotel that became an attraction in itself.
Yes, there you go. That's a great way to put it. And then all the other hotels tried to copy them.
Yes.
But the good Siegfried and Roy, they have the Beatles Love show, right? Does that take place at the Mirage?
I think it's at Mirage, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so just now, we do have, for clients that can't make the October 6th, so if you can make it, this is the year to go. It's a great time to go. And as I was mentioning, pricing has gone up in the hotels. Like if you were trying to book a hotel in Moab, a Hampton Inn could cost you like $400 a night. Yes. Can you believe that? Hampton Inn, $400.
Wow.
But we have contracted rates, so our rates are set and firm. But we have this promotion here. If you travel on one of our eastbound routes, so what was interesting, Julia and Bob, is when we first launched this program, all of our materials that we put out were westbound. So everybody booked westbound, not realized there was the eastbound departure. So we're putting eastbound. We're offering a special, save $300 per couple. And then we have an exclusive through Go Travel, an additional $75 per booking. So you can basically save $375 on a eastbound departure. And that's true this is a 5-night minimum, but so if you just said a 5-night trip, you get $375 off.
Yeah.
And that's by June 20th.
June 30th.
June.
Is it June 30?
20. It's hard to say.
Oh. June 30.
June 30. I just was looking at the one in the center.
Yes, actually two things. So the
$300, 2 different things.
Yeah, the $300 is by June 20th, and then the 75 is by June 30th. So to get them both, book by June 20th.
Okay, that's the key. So you can take
Mhm.
advantage of all the savings.
Yes, take advantage of both of them. And then just here's an example, Rockies, the Red Rock Classic. So here's just a 4-day, 3-night, starting at $1469 per person. That includes your 3-night hotel, 3 nights of hotel, the train experience as well, all the drinks, all the food on board the train, your transfers to and from the train station. So that's of course a nice short trip if you don't have a lot of time, or if you want to do your own stuff on your own, you could do that.
Paul,
Yeah.
I do have one question on that trip. Does the eastbound leave on one day and the westbound leaves on another? Is it the same train?
It's the same
is it-
train. So
Okay.
basically the train will travel. The way we worked it out is, let's say you start on a Monday
Mm-hmm.
in Denver. All right. So you travel that Monday to Glenwood. We overnight in Glenwood. The next day you arrive in Moab on Tuesday. So you spend 8 hours from Denver to Glenwood Springs. Then from Glenwood Springs to Moab, which is about 5 hours on the train. You arrive around noontime in Moab. And then the train turns around that same day and heads back. So if you go eastbound, you're actually traveling at 2 o'clock in the afternoon out of Moab to Glenwood Springs. So you get to see a nice sunset while you're traveling on the train. You have dinner versus a lunch on board. So it's kind of nice going eastbound too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different. And this here just shows you an example if somebody wanted a self-drive. So we do the train, and then we do like a car rental packaged around the train route. So we have a lot of different options depending what you're looking for.
And we know cars are in high demand right now, so this is a great way to get a car.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could easily spend, I've heard $1,000 people are paying a day in Hawaii, not in this area, but you could easily spend $500-$600 for 3-4 days for a car rental.
But you have that built into the price.
Ours is built into the price, yeah. So we've got it all contracted. So knock on wood. And then just to touch on for Canada, 2022, I mentioned is selling like hotcakes. This promotion is the best promotion we do all year, and you get 4 perks. If you book by August 27th, you get 2 complimentary hotel nights, 1 complimentary dinner, and 1 complimentary transfer. Now that is for the All Aboard 2022 promotion. But in addition to that, we have an added promotion exclusive for Go Travel, another free dinner. And this is for an 8-night minimum stay. So you get 2 free dinners. Now, here's the trick. These dinners are not cheap dinners. You can pick it at whatever hotel you're staying at that you're booked with us. So if you're staying at the Chateau Lake Louise, the Fairmont in Lake Louise, and you do your dinner there, those are normally $120 to $130 per person each. So pick your finest hotel and have your dinner there, and it's on us. So you've got 2 free dinners
for today to get maximum value.
I'm good like that. I'm a points guy. I do all that stuff, and I would maximize that. So 2 free dinners. This is again about $1,000 value if you take advantage of the All Aboard. Oh, and also deposits are refundable up until December of this year for the All Aboard promotion. And then for the U.S. route, the deposits are fully refundable up to 30 days prior to travel. So even on the group departure, if you book the group, put your deposit down, you'll get your refund 30 days prior to travel if you change your mind. So there's no risk.
Fantastic.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
Well, I love it. We're going to see here if we have any questions. I know, Bob, where are you with questions? Do you have anything else for Paul here today?
Not really. The only thing I would like to say is if people are looking to book the rail and car option, do it soon, because if you're trying to go anywhere near a national park, it's going to be a bear to try to get you space near one. So if you're planning to do your own driving and want to add something to it, let's book it now. Don't wait.
Did you see that subliminal?
Well,
last slide.
Oh, what? What's the subliminal?
Right there, the bear. You said it's going to be a bear.
Oh,
It's
I
going to
did-
be a bit.
Not even thinking.
Oh no, but subliminally you were thinking.
Someone is
I-
going to be a bear.
we do have a question from Linda. She wants to know, what would this package cost as a single traveler?
So the
And-
single
And by the way,
traveler,
she was referring to the Southwest Wonders October 6th, so if that helps at all.
yes, I don't think I have that handy. Bob, do you?
I don't have it right here. No, I'm sorry.
But how does it work with singles in general?
So on the rail, it's slightly. So if you were doing a 2-day rail trip, it's maybe 10-20% more, because it's really, we're not charging any extra per person for the rail. The difference is the hotels. So a lot of times clients, if we don't offer a hotel that has better single pricing, they may just do rail only with us, because we're not charging them that much for the Glenwood portion. They pay a little bit more than a double would pay per person, just because they're having one room by themselves. But in general, I'd say roughly 25% more to 35% more for a single, unfortunately.
But so on the train itself,
The rail itself would be the same, except for slightly a little bit more, because we do include the hotel in between. So even if you do rail only, we include a hotel in the middle.
just that one night.
Just that one night.
If you're looking at the very minimum package.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
So
then
like some clients will just they'll do the rail and they build their own little program where they might rent a cottage or do something like that.
And then my advice to Linda or anyone out there that is curious about a specific package, or if you want more information, we can send you the brochure and all of the information if you want to see exact pricing, or at least to start researching a little bit more. Just connect either with your travel advisor if you already have one, or visit us at gotravel.com and just send us a note, and we'd be happy to send you all that info and specifically about the trip that you're looking for.
And you have the best travel advisors. Super nice.
Oh, Paul, so sweet.
We enjoy working with them.
Yes, Paul's around the corner right here in Central Florida, so it's great to just be in that same region and be able to work together. So, any other final notes today for anyone considering to take a train trip either this year or next year?
I love the experience of something different. So like being one of the first on an inaugural train ride is great. So you get the experience. Our company is super happy. It's been a rough year, like not operating at all. But the fact that our founder went out and took the risk to open this US route, something that's always been on the plans. It's a big financial risk, but we're super excited. You're going to see a lot of enthusiastic Rocky Mountaineer employees in the US, new employees to us, that are going to just want to make your trip super special. And I feel like this part of the world is just under visited by Americans. Lots of beautiful national parks to visit, and you'll fall in love with it. You'll fall in love with the US, and the train experience itself will be just memorable.
I have a question and a comment.
Uh-oh.
Question is, how are they getting the train cars here? Are they coming over track, coming down from Canada? Are they being boated to someplace and put on the tracks here?
I believe they're coming by track. And I heard this was happening like in the next week or so.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I meant to ask that question because they just mentioned they were bringing them down over.
We're
going to
have people that want to know. Me.
Yeah. And the one thing I forgot to mention too, Bob, is that we have for clients that want to upgrade. So we don't have the Gold Leaf, but we do have this new upgrade called Silverleaf Plus.
Yes.
And it gives people access to the a lounge car, which is being redesigned now. So we're bringing 2 lounge cars. We're bringing like 8 rail cars, Silverleaf rail cars down.
Okay.
And these designed. There's gonna be a bar in there, extra space to mix and mingle with other guests. And it's a little bit of a upgrade, like $400 for the 2 days. But honestly, it gives you an extra place to kind of stretch your legs, walk around, and meet folks.
Excellent. I'm ready. I've been ready to go.
Let's
started
get the
talking
show
about
on the
it, I
road. Well, thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate you going into detail. I learned every time we talk about this, I learned so much more about the details and all of the different places, because it's not somewhere I've spent a lot of time, and we need to get back out there.
Right.
Yes, well, we're looking forward to having everybody on the trains this year. We're hoping to bring some of our travel partners too, which I'll tell you about later. But the more we can get you on to experience a train. And here's another tidbit. If somebody does go on a Rocky Mountaineer, whether it's the U.S. or Canada, now that we have multiple destinations too, we'll probably more than likely have a repeat traveler offer. So that means like if you go on the U.S. route, you'll get something to go on the Canada route in the future. So, or vice versa.
Something to
Excellent.
look forward to.
Yes.
Definitely.
Excellent. Well, we have a
Can't wait to
video
talk.
to exit today. Bob, did you have something else to say?
No, I'm just very excited about this product. I love trains, as you well know.
He is the train buff.
I'm the Sheldon of Go Travel.
Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Paul. And thank you, everyone that's joining us today. Or if you're watching on replay, do reach out to your travel advisor or visit us at gotravel.com to connect with one. We would love to connect you with a specialist in your area or in your specialty. But in the meantime, we have a beautiful video to exit today. Let's take a little adventure out west. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Picture
Bye.
this, your next trip, Utah, 5 national parks. First, Zion. You're walking, the ground rises, the ground drops, the ground becomes water. Next, Bryce. You're riding a mule. You're riding a mule under giant orange drip castles. You are not dreaming. You will not forget this. On to Capitol Reef. Take the scenic route, the really scenic route. Take a path you've never taken and see the stars for the first time. Now for Canyonlands. You're riding a bike. You're riding a bike on Mars. Now you're riding the rapids. Class 2, Class 3, Class 4, Classic. Arches, 5:32 a.m. Some things are worth racing the sunrise for. The horizon lightens. You round the corner. Whoa. This is Life Elevated. The Mighty Five. 5 iconic parks, 1 epic experience.